Atlantic City. Ray Mercer, 22-2, 16 knockouts. Jesse Ferguson, 20-10 with 14 knockouts. And about the alleged bribe, Ferguson says, enough. Mercer wasn't prepared to fight me. It was his responsibility to show up in shape, not mine. And this Ray Mercer coming into the ring is in shape.
And very determined too, Bob. A lot can happen in his career with an explosive performance. He certainly needs one.
And out of his dressing room comes Jesse Ferguson, 36 years of age. Fighting out of Philadelphia, born in Knightdale, North Carolina. His last fight in July, he took out Rocky Papelli. His parents were tenants on a tobacco farm. He joined the Marines and started boxing. And even had a shot at the heavyweight championship of the world. He has lost to Carl the Truth Williams. He has lost to Mike Tyson. He has lost to Bone Crusher Smith.
And Ray Mercer ready to go. You see the good sweat that he's got there, perfectly loosened up. At least from that standpoint, the eyes of determination, single-minded purpose. Here's how they match up according to the numbers as the weigh-in indicating there. Mercer 32, Ferguson 35. They're both 6'2". Mercer, nice solid weight, 223. He shed a few. Ferguson 232, and Ferguson with a little bit of a reach advantage, not substantial.
Here are the rules in the state of New Jersey. 10-point must system, 3 knockdown rule in effect, standing 8 count. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight. 5 rounds must be completed in case of an accidental butt. If it happens before 5 rounds, it'll be a technical draw. Here is Jesse Ferguson through the ropes here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Ray Mercer waiting patiently. We mentioned that Mercer has dropped weight since their last meeting. As for Jesse Ferguson, he is 1 pound lighter.
He's in the same spot and with his usual disposition. We'll watch Jesse Ferguson try to win this countering on the inside.
Now for the introductions, here's our ring announcer, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated, along with the Casino Association of New Jersey and the undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. All the officials at ringside shall remain the same, but let me introduce you to the 3 judges scoring this contest: Joseph Pasquale, Vinny Ranoni, and Deborah Barnes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, the rematch. So from Atlantic City, New Jersey's Convention Hall, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. When the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Tony Orlando. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the purple trunks with white trim, weighing in at 232 1/4 pounds. From the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he brings a professional record of 20 victories with 14 KOs against 10 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Jesse Boogeyman Ferguson. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with gold and red trim, weighing 223 pounds. By way of West Orange, New Jersey, he now trains and fights out of Great Gorge in Vernon Valley, New Jersey. This 1988 Olympic gold medalist is now 22-2 as a professional with 16 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the former WBO World Heavyweight Champion. Introducing Merciless Ray Mercer.
Okay, gentlemen, let's have a good, clean, professional fight. Do you have any questions? All right, let's do it. Touch gloves, go back to the corner.
The grudge match, Dave Bontempo, Ray Mercer, and Jesse Ferguson. There is Jesse Ferguson, who will be a witness
Witness to the prosecution, and Mercer with a chance to go after his avenger right away, and not in the courtroom.
The referee, Tony Orlando, and we begin round number 1. Both fighters appear to be loose.
We saw Mercer jab a lot more in his last fight with Mark Wills, and he's going to try to establish that a lot more in this fight tonight before he goes to those power shots.
And right now, Ray Mercer trying to establish his jab. He established no punches in their first meeting, as we showed you in the piece with the numbers.
Well, also the big statistical deficit, but a lot of that was laziness by Ray Mercer. He can overcome that with simply a different fight plan. In that first fight, when he laid on the inside, he would punch once, and Ferguson would come back and throw 3 or 4.
Good combination by Mercer.
Ray Mercer has to put them together, and so far he is.
Ferguson trying to hold on and tie up Mercer in that corner.
Good chopping right by Mercer on the inside.
Ray Mercer has 8 career first-round knockouts of his 16 career knockouts.
He is a good first-round fighter. He almost put Larry Holmes out in their fight in the first round with a strong shot, and then he tired. And he needs this fight so much more than Jesse Ferguson does. And for Ray Mercer, his entire career is spelled out before him tonight.
A right hand by Mercer. Well, I would think Ferguson needs it as well at his age.
But Ferguson can also always be brought back as he's been because of his situation. Mercer is expected to do a lot more.
Well, Ferguson trying to fight off the ropes. He scored with a combination, and a chopping right hand connects against Mercer.
And here's that inside battle. Let's see who wins it. They're inside. Let's see who wins here.
In a round that started off decidedly in Mercer's favor, Ferguson has rallied a little bit.
And Mercer leaping with that jab and then threw a right hand behind it. Mercer is on the muscle so far.
"35 seconds to go in round 1. A much more active Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer, the 1988 Olympic gold medalist. And clubbing left hand by Ferguson. Mercer trying to cover up now, just holds on.
He blocked a lot of those shots by Ferguson, then turned in. Ferguson is somebody who will throw a lot of punches if you give him a chance as a counter puncher.
Mercer just missed with that right hand after the good left. Very good start to this fight, Dave.
Good heavyweight action and a good pace for this division.
Let's go into the corner of Ray Mercer.
Okay. Mercer, on the inside, just use the shoulder how you use the shoulder. Yeah, use the shoulder, but the left hook is the key. Right hand left hook. It was made for the left hook, but you gotta sit it up with the right hand, okay? But when you're inside, just use that shoulder, nudge your mouth just a little bit. Nudge your mouth with a little bit with the shoulder, right hand left hook.
Let's talk about with right hand?
Right hand left hook. Finish with the hook.
Mercer got it going early, a short clubbing right hand, the left hook behind it, and the grazing right, and notice how he gets right on top of Ferguson there. Ferguson, though he's cornered, turns into his shots while lands a nice right uppercut and moves into a left hook. Excellent technique by both fighters in that round, and here's the punch that Ray Mercer wants to set up. He just missed it there.
And we are poised and ready for the start of round number 2. A very brisk round number 1. Ray Mercer and Jesse Ferguson. Mercer did not arrive in Atlantic City until Thursday. He missed the press conference on Wednesday. Not very talkative with all the events surrounding him.
He avoided the hoopla and really stayed on his game a lot here. I mean, he couldn't ask for a better situation, a second chance, the crowd behind him. He's got to produce tonight.
And when Ferguson found out that Mercer was not going to show up at the press conference, he elected to not go either and said, why am I the bad guy in this scenario? And a good combination by Mercer.
What his corner talked about between rounds, setting him up with the right hand to land the left hook. Just missed it.
Came back with the right, but Ferguson was able to duck away from most of it.
And in the first round, a big round for Mercer power-wise, just like their first fight. Now we'll see how he carries that through.
Well, he faded rapidly in their first fight. That was the high water mark.
A 19-punch difference is significant there.
Both fighters have 2 second-round knockouts in their career. Mercer much more lethal in round 1.
And he's on top of his jab here tonight, really setting up and thinking defense when Ferguson starts to tee off. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Mercer uppercut as Ferguson tries to crowd him.
Remember, Ferguson had some success with an uppercut in that first round. You know, we've seen Mercer, as he just was short with that right hand and that left, we've seen Mercer fall behind on scorecards. Remember the Morrison fight, he was getting beat through the first few rounds, and against Damiani, he was being outclassed for 8.5 rounds.
He was out of the fight against Damiani on the scorecards, but he came back. We're seeing things here that have not been there in recent fights. He's leaping into position, he's moving. Yeah, the weight that he has shed is really helping him here.
Well, Ferguson trying to lean back and throw some punches. Mercer right in his face.
Mercer may be a little too close here. He wants to set something up off it. He wants that uppercut. So does Ferguson.
Ferguson is able to turn the tide and get Mercer against the rope. Both fighters landing punches. A good left by Ferguson. We tick to the end of round 2. Fairly even fight through these first 2 rounds. Both fighters have had their moments. And we take you back to the corner of Jesse Ferguson.
Get out there. Hey, my man. You can hit with any punch you want. That left hook got to be working, man.
All night long.
You can close your eyes and throw the left hook. Listen, I want you to bend your legs. Bend your legs, all right? When you bend your legs and throw the hook, you hit him every time. We okay, baby? Bend your legs and double or triple that hook. You can close your eyes and do that, man.
Yes.
All right?
You know what Dome 32 is, Jesse.
You got a right amateur.
Stop waiting on him.
These first time.
Stick it. Pop the jab, Jesse.
Good heavyweight action here in round 2. Ferguson leans in, lands some good shots to the body, then goes right to the head. Mercer tries to come back here. And late spurt by Ferguson. Did he steal the round with it?
Bend them legs. Let's go to work. Look, that's the hook.
Well, Mercer's power punch connection percentage dropped to 31% in round number 2, so Jesse Ferguson able to at least get some momentum as we start round 3.
Both fighters showing some pretty schooled abilities here. They've got their jabs working well, good left hooks, and Ferguson really trying to open up with his left hook here. Mercer wants the same thing.
In his quest to win this rematch, might Mercer get a little too anxious? We saw that lunging left there.
Well, I think he's lunging because he's in better shape and has a little more stamina at the outset than he did earlier. He's not been caught up in trying to knock Ferguson out immediately. He wants to be schooled, he wants a technique. He said he would be happy to get a win. And you wonder what this strategy would be about for Mercer. He was successful on the outside in round number 1, and now crowding Ferguson here and not throwing a whole lot when he's close. He's got to throw punches in here.
Well, Ferguson is doing a pretty good job on the inside, Dave.
And that's why I'm surprised that Mercer keeps going that way when he was more successful in the beginning on the outside.
Well, it's certainly a much crisper Ray Mercer in this grudge match, this rematch. And there's a right hand from Jesse Ferguson, but it did not back up Mercer.
Ferguson also able to unleash.
Digging to the body with the left and right, and then the right hand up top.
Ferguson is one of these fighters whose abilities do not fluctuate. He's pretty consistent, and so he's always on a certain amount of his game, and that makes him tough. He's really no picnic for anybody, except Riddick Bowe. A lot of fighters were at that time.
Doubling up with that left hand was Ferguson. And once again, he goes back to the body.
He's got his confidence moving now.
He's dictating the terms.
On the inside, Ferguson has done pretty well. Even though Mercer is trying to punch more in there, Ferguson's been very accurate.
That right hand was a little short by Ferguson, despite the roar from the crowd. Ferguson just elusive enough. That left hand popped back the head of Ferguson, not much on it as we come to the end of round 3. Dave, another pretty good round for Jesse Ferguson. Let's follow into the corner of Ray Mercer.
He's tired now, Mercer. He's tired. Now is the time you really increase the pressure, all right? He's been tired. Yeah, he's been tired. Now is the time you really increase the pressure. Deep breath from it. Mercer, but you still ain't coming. When you're inside, the left hook is the key. You just nudge him out with that left shoulder, right hand, left hook. That's the key. Put 3 together. Don't just
You're drifting, Ray. You're drifting down here.
Okay.
Right here. Okay, come on.
See what I'm saying? When you land inside, he's over here. When you land inside, you just be careful. Right hand, hook. Right hand, left hook, right hand. Don't stop. Okay. All right? Yeah. Another? No. Yeah. But you got to keep the pressure on you. Keep that jab and don't just lob the jab out. Get that jab out. Get up, Hank. All right. Stick the jab out.
Ferguson getting his instructions there. Mercer as well. Good round for Ferguson as we start round number 4.
Well, Mercer's corner telling him that Ferguson was starting to tire. Do you think so?
He didn't seem like he looked it there in the 3rd round, but it has motivated Mercer.
A good right hand by Mercer, and Mercer with a little bit more excitement.
Trainers sometimes have to con their fighters. They've got to be part psychologist, part Pinocchio.
You mean they might lie?
Just a tad. You saw his nose growing, didn't you?
Dave, how do you have it scored after the first 3 rounds?
A 1-point lead for Mercer. I gave him a close 2nd round. I gave Ferguson the 3rd.
Let's see what the fellas in CompuBox have cooked up through the first 3 rounds, Dave.
And Mercer at 87-66, maintaining the 19-punch edge in power he had after round 1. So punches in the last 2 rounds have been dead even.
One minute gone by, combination by Mercer. And now it's Mercer who's establishing the jab, where Ferguson had it in the previous round.
And Mercer really took to the advice of his corner between rounds, has come out, and he's got to get the jab going from the outside. He wants to set up the left hook with the right hand, but before all of that, he's got to get Ferguson moving back with his jab. In tight, it's been Ferguson's fight. Mercer really should abandon that. Maybe try it later. He's got a good jab.
And his best success has come when he's established his jab.
Ferguson, he seems to have more outside mobility than Ferguson, and I think Mercer should stick out there, start his action out there.
Referee Tony Orlando warns Mercer to keep the gloves and the punches up.
And Ferguson is cut on the left eye, and it's a nasty-looking cut at this stage.
We'll have to get a closer look. There is some blood on the nose of Ferguson. The heads came together.
And when you see the action like that, you can see why the heads do come together. They can rub, little lurch, and create a headbutt.
30 seconds to go here in round 4. Is the cut on the left eyelid? It is tough to tell because there's not a lot of blood if there is a cut on Jesse Ferguson.
Well, it looked initially like that's where it was.
There is considerable swelling, though. There seems to be a little bit of a lump under that left eye. And we'll get a closer look at the end of this round 4. And Ferguson back to his corner. Turn around, Jesse.
All right. That's the only round he won. And you gave it to him. You gave him the round, yeah. Come on, let's go. You gave him the round. Now we got to get that round back. Jesse, every punch you throw is hitting him, man. You got to wake up and do something, man. Just bend them legs and punch to the body, Jack. Come on, man. This guy's dead tired, Jack.
Waiting on, Jesse.
You wait too long.
Let's put the mustard on these punches now, okay? All right?
Can we get some in?
Come on, let's go home now, all right?
I'm waiting on this guy, man. I'm waiting on him. He's dead tired.
All right? Oh, yeah.
Ain't no scrap.
Little nick. Hey,
Jesse,
Jesse,
the man is dead tired. Let's
put the mustard on these punches now, okay?
Okay. Okay, now let's put the punches on him now.
Put the mustard on him.
Sit, bend them legs to punch the body.
Tommy Gallagher working on the cut in Jesse Ferguson's corner. And Dave, let's take a look at the replay.
And Mercer with a good shot opening up here. Good cut. Couple good, strong, solid jabs. And that cut is on the eyelid, just underneath the eyebrow of Jesse Ferguson. And it could cause a lot of havoc later if Mercer goes to it.
Round 5 underway. Now, I'm not a doctor, and obviously we're looking on the monitor and across the ring, but it almost looked like it was an existing cut, an old scar that kind of opened up because there wasn't that steady flow of blood even when the cut kind of opened.
Dr. Bob Papa. But you know what? That is in a bad spot. It could drip down right into the eye. So we'll see how Ferguson adapts to it and how much it seems that it bothers him. Mercer will get that jab going now. He sees that.
There it is.
He's really going to it.
Yeah, there's that jab, doubling it up. This is where Mercer's had trouble, though. Fighting inside. Well, Ray Mercer just continues to build and build his punches. Take a look at the CompuBox numbers in round number 4.
It's been a more consistent performance for Mercer so far.
Only 15 punches landed by Ferguson in that entire round.
And Mercer has been very workmanlike here. Taking it one round at a time, and Ferguson bothered again by that.
Oh,
he
good
punches
uppercut
out.
inside by Ferguson, trying to fight back. But Mercer keeping the pressure on.
This is where Mercer would theoretically want to have Ferguson, but is he doing enough here? Is he taking advantage? He's got to go to the body, and he went low.
There's one south of the border. Tony Orlando calls time.
And if
That is the second warning given to Ray Mercer.
If the referee wants, he can give the fighter up to 5 minutes for a break.
And the veteran Jesse Ferguson will take as much time. Here it is, David, no question about it.
Mercer leans in and gets him right on the trademark there. We've seen some low blows in history, but nonetheless, it's right on there. Mercer might claim that the trunks were higher, Ferguson, but that was a low blow.
Right on the
borderline. Ferguson
line.
answered.
That's right. Now he's worn right back. You've heard trainer Lou Duva talk about it millions of times. Guy hit you low, go hit him right back.
Mercer has 2 reasons to get that jab going. Number 1, it's gotten the rest of his attack in motion. And number 2, the eye of Ferguson. It's the same problem we saw him against Bruce Seldon, and it caused him to lose that fight.
Still not a steady flow of blood from that left eye, though, of Ferguson, as both fighters trying to do the body work that's necessary to win in the later rounds. And once again, Ferguson very low with that left hook.
And again, I'm a little surprised Mercer as close to Ferguson as he is when he's been successful on the outside. He's fighting Ferguson's fight at times.
I did not think Ferguson would have this much success on the inside. There's a right hand over the top, and an uppercut scores as well from Ferguson.
Excellent shots by Ferguson, all with power, all accurate.
And that is the end of an interesting round 5.
I'm telling you, when you lay in, you're not punching. You're letting him get off. You got to punch. He's hitting it hard as hell. You got to get off. You got to be first. You got to move this man back, and you got to punch. That's as clear as I can make it. All right?
Hit him over again. I got to take a punch.
He's hitting low, too.
Let's take a look at the CompuBox numbers. Gentlemen,
Ray Mercer has landed almost twice as many power punches tonight than he did February 6th. He's more accurate, he's busier, and he looks in much better condition. Jesse Ferguson is doing a pretty good job of landing his punches as well. He's just not throwing enough. He doesn't seem to have enough fire tonight. When he does throw his shots, he lands, but I'd like to see him throw some more power punches.
all right, gentlemen, thank you very much. By the way, Bob, nice shirt. We begin round number 6.
And Mercer, hearing it from his corner, Hank Johnson lecturing him between rounds of staying on the outside and getting off first and driving Ferguson back. When he gets in tight on Ferguson, that's not Mercer's fight tonight.
Dave, how does your scorecard look after 5 rounds? Remember, this is a 10-round fight.
48-47 for Ray Mercer. Ferguson hanging right there.
Really could go either way at this point because a lot of the rounds have been very close.
Yeah, and Mercer doesn't help himself when he gets in tight. That last explosion at the end of the round may have given Ferguson round 5.
Well, this time Mercer is able to dig some hooks to the body of Ferguson.
And his corner's not against him fighting inside, but they wanted to set that up first with the jab. Now he takes a hook coming out.
Left hand and a right hand by Ferguson.
And this is a replay of their first fight when Ferguson gets off on the inside after Mercer lands once.
Ferguson does a very nice job deceptively of slipping those punches.
And turning into his offense. That's why Mercer should take that option away from him. Get going with his jab.
Mercer's trying to power inside, and a good combination by Ferguson. Oh, and another right hand, and Mercer trying to hold on here. Plenty of time to go in round 6. Another combination from Ferguson. Some blistering punches from Jesse Ferguson.
He got inside, Mercer was there, and Ferguson countered him into a bad place. Ferguson is so good when you give him that chance to counter.
Well, Mercer now back on his toes. Evidently he wasn't seriously hurt, but he needs to win rounds.
Well, Ray Mercer takes a good shot, but he didn't really want to prove it right there. He took some bombs from Ferguson, and they were all flush.
And Mercer back on his heels here in round 6. The 1988 Olympic gold medalist Ray Mercer in some trouble here in round 6, although it looks like he's weathered the storm. The chance of Jesse here at the convention center. Another combination, and Mercer again with a low blow. And 1 point being taken away by referee Tony Orlando.
A very unpopular decision. Tough call on Mercer. It was right on the borderline. He just missed. Yeah, he's throwing his hook from the wrong spot, and that's why it's coming up low. If you're a little too far away, you come up low. Now Mercer launches it from the wrong spot, and he gets him down low. That's a repeated warning. That could be big in this fight.
Yeah, that one was further south than the first one.
And what happened is that Ray Mercer wanted to throw the punch instinctively, and he just threw it. And that's why he was low. You've got to set up that shot. Mercer trained to throw that left hook, so he just throws it. And he's not way low, but it's the 3rd time it's happened.
And now there'll be a 1-point deduction from Ray Mercer. And now a rest period.
And having a big round, so this is going to be a 10-8 round for Jesse Ferguson.
But how did the round end if time had been called, Dave? How did the round end if time had been called?
Round should not end if time had been called.
That is the end of the round, and we're being informed Ferguson has 5 minutes from this point on. So the round has ended, and now Ferguson has up to 5 minutes.
That's the rule that the referee allows him to do. Now, interestingly, most fighters do not take advantage of it, and Ferguson does not either. Most fighters come rushing back out.
We begin round number 7. So does that go as a 10-8 round?
Absolutely. That was Ferguson's round to begin with.
And that could be the difference in this fight. It is a very close fight, Ray Mercer and Jesse Ferguson.
Ray Mercer has another reason now to stay on the outside. When he's inside, he's missing Ferguson with the left hook.
Left there by Mercer. And how low is that punch? Well, Ferguson's trunks are sagging as it is, and that was well below the strike.
And you can tell an intentional shot low because it's thrown very hard and lands low. Mercer flicked it out, and he was low.
Here is where Ferguson has won most of the battles so far tonight, inside.
And
And
again,
an uppercut scored.
why is Ray Mercer fighting in here? He was successful on the outside. This is a product of training camp psychology. They knew they had to do better on the inside than the first fight, but he's been successful outside early in this fight, so he shouldn't change.
A Ferguson scoring, even backing away with hooks to the body.
Famous round 7, Bob.
That's right, the last time they met, the alleged bribe took place. We have extra sensitive microphones on Dave Bontempo's wristband.
Now Mercer throws the hook there, but he should be jabbing and starting. He's fighting Ferguson's fight here.
Well, Mercer is just leaning in and allowing Ferguson the inside in which Ferguson scored.
And that's what happened in their first fight.
There's another right hand by Ferguson. There's a left hand.
And Ferguson, again, dominating the inside. He's been hot in recent rounds.
1 minute to go in round 7, and you sense that the momentum has swung in favor of Jesse Ferguson.
It's his. It's a question of now, is it permanent?
Mercer is trying to fight
Ferguson's fight.
Exactly.
And there's no reason for him to do this after the first 2 to 3 rounds. He was very good from the outside.
When Ray Mercer established his jab and threw it 2-3 times in a row, he dominated the round.
Not only that, when they were telling him to set up the left hook, you can't set up the left hook from in close like this.
He's just walking straight forward. Is it fatigue?
In many cases it is, but his punch volume would suggest he's not that tired. I think it's just a bad tactical move at this point.
Good job on that left eye of Jesse Ferguson. There has not been substantial bleeding. And they fight through the end of round 7 with Mercer landing a punch, and now Ferguson goes back at him.
And a blatant now. Will they take a point away from Ferguson?
Well, but Mercer clearly threw a late punch.
Did they see both punches?
Well,
we see warnings.
Tony Orlando was standing right there. Dave, let's look at the action at the end of the bell. Let's listen in to the bell.
Mercer not even moved by that shot, but a punch to the back of the head. Referee has to be right there to separate the fighters.
Let's take a look at the stats, Dave.
And the number's so similar to the first fight, 397 to 343, 217 connects. Tonight down to 156, and the percentage way down for Ferguson. Mercer, more connects tonight and a higher percentage and many more punches thrown.
As we get set to start round 8, Dave, does that mean Ray Mercer is winning this fight?
I think he's down a point based on the fact he lost one. But let's see how the judges see it.
Ferguson landed 30 of 43 power punches in round 7. That's 70%.
And in round 6, he was winning the round and had a point taken away. So Ferguson has picked up 3 points in the last 2 rounds.
Ferguson trying to snuck away from Mercer's power, that right hand. But Mercer not establishing the jab, just laying it out there. Look at it.
And when you look at those numbers, the first time you could say, well, Mercer was inside. He was out of shape, so he wanted to take time off and try to win on the inside. Here, he's throwing more punches, but he's still on the inside.
Well, they continue to work away here in round number 8.
But we're going to be heading for what looks like a close decision as Ferguson lands a left hook. Neither camp really concerned about that before this fight. Mercer's camp simply thought they were going to walk through Ferguson and knock him out.
Well, Ferguson was pummeled by Riddick Bowe in May. But it's been a better Jesse Ferguson and, of course, a different level of competition.
But Mercer started strongly in this fight. Ferguson found his way back in it. You see Mercer holding here. He's got to explode more off the outside. And that left hook he's been trying to set up has been a mystery. It's not been there, even though the styles dictate that it should be there.
Short, tight little combination from Ray Mercer. Approaching 1 minute to go in round 8. Remember, 10-round fight. There's that infrequent left hand.
And when Mercer gets his left hand moving, at least he immobilizes Ferguson. But when he doesn't, Ferguson's on the inside. As Ferguson swarms forward, Mercer has the opportunity to throw that left hook because Ferguson is walking into it, but Mercer's not throwing it. And a little elbow.
I'd be curious to see Ferguson's punch total in this round. He has thrown virtually nothing.
Way down, and why it's suggesting Mercer can win on the outside.
24 up until this point, says Logan Hobson, Bob Kenobian. Well, there's a little combination inside by Ferguson. But I don't think it's enough to win the round. I think Mercer's probably done enough to win this round.
I think he has, too. More by what Ferguson hasn't done this round, more than what he has done.
And that's the end of round number 8. Ferguson does nothing. Mercer takes the round, I would think.
Yeah, he did a little more than nothing.
Every time you hit him, you hurt him.
Ain't no more I can say to you. It's on you.
Wake up, man. Come on, man.
Let's burn it through 2 rounds. We got 2 more to go, baby. That was the 8th. You understand?
Look, now
Stop
he's
dropping
bleeding
that
from
right hand.
somewhere.
Stop dropping that right hand off to the body, man. Coming back up to the head with the hook. Finish him up. Don't stop when you finish punching. Move around him. Give him another angle, man. Okay? Let your hands go. You got 2 more rounds. You got to shake. You understand?
Yep.
But don't punch and stay there. Don't move out. Just move around him and start throwing again. Okay. Put your punches together 3 at a time.
As we look at it, 481 February 6th, 374 tonight for Ferguson. Way down, connects way down, percentage way down as well. Attribute some of that to Mercer's jab throughout the earlier rounds of this fight. Mercer 450, 563 tonight. Is it enough? He's got much more. He's got 54 more connects. But you spread that out over the rounds, and it's not that many more. It's about 4 to 5 punches more per round.
And we begin round number 9. Dave, how do you see it scored?
Even at this point, Bob, and very, very difficult it seems.
Let us not forget, in round 6, Ray Mercer had a point taken away for a low blow. Could be the difference. And for a promotion that was maligned and chastised, on the level of the 2 fighters, it's been a pretty entertaining fight.
It's been a good heavyweight fight. There's been a good pace. The numbers are good for heavyweights. They're not sitting on the inside and doing nothing, and they're trying to get the big shots in.
Some blood out of the nose of Jesse Ferguson. He simply blows it aside and continues.
Well, right now, this is who trained hardest, who hit the heavy bag more, who did those extra miles, because it's the 9th round of a tight fight.
And Mercer now trying to stay outside. Has he learned his lesson to not come inside where he has lost most of the exchanges?
Well, he did well on the outside in round 8, if for no other reason than neutralizing Ferguson and keeping Ferguson's punch total down.
I would think Jesse Ferguson needs to step it up a little bit after that lackluster round 8.
But what's happened is that Mercer now has adjusted. He has picked up the fact that on the inside he's not winning, and on the outside, he has come out here. Ferguson's got to bob and weave, get closer to him, and pound the body. Mercer moving now, showing the angles his corner wanted.
Now Ray Mercer is really taking this fight to a different level, staying outside, picking his shots. That's where he's effective.
And had Mercer done this throughout the entire fight, he would have won this in a cakewalk. But now he's in a very close one because of the inside exchanges. As he gets outside, you can see he's a much more effective fighter here.
1 minute to go in round 9.
And you've got to think the I need it factor would be working in Mercer's favor here. This is the first time in the round now he crowded Ferguson. He's been a little more disciplined in the last 2 rounds.
Ferguson's not throwing punches either, Dave. He's not. The last 2 rounds, he's not throwing 21 punches at this point. At the same point last round, he had only thrown 24. You can't win if you don't punch.
But he was stymied by Mercer dictating the fight from the outside. It suggests that had Mercer stayed out here all night, he could have set the pace throughout the entire fight.
Well,
but when he got in close, it was Ferguson's fight.
And now Mercer has Ferguson in a headlock. Tony Orlando steps in, and that works to Mercer's advantage to break the fighters up.
And Mercer learns a good tactic in this round. Stay on the outside, and if you go inside, tie Ferguson up.
And Mercer getting off first with the jab. And we're about to the end of round number 9. And a late shot from Mercer, but another good round for Ray Mercer. And you need to send an APB out on Jesse Ferguson.
Get the towel. We gotta get the last round. Jesse, we need the last round. You understand what I'm saying? Let me see, Jesse. Okay, Jesse. Give me the towel. We need this last round.
Jesse, you in shape. Jesse, what you waiting?
Come on, man. Hey, man.
Come on, let's work this time. That's all right.
This is for your fucking kid.
Put your left hand in front of you, Jesse.
We need this last round. All right, Jesse?
Jesse, you in shape. You've been training hard.
This is for
Ray Mercer on the outside, doing his best here. Throws in with the jab, and then the best punch of the round, a strong right hand. You see what happens when that jab works. This is what he should have done the entire fight. This sequence was there for him the entire fight. But he may have learned it in time.
Now Ray Mercer poised and ready. He's come on the last 2 rounds. There's Jesse Ferguson. Can he muster up enough? The 10th and final round, the grudge match, the final verdict. Well, there's still another verdict to be answered, but in the ring anyway.
And Mercer here is coming on strong the last 2 rounds. Ferguson now probably will come out big in the 10th round because he saved it up for 2 rounds.
While Mercer's staying away, here's where Mercer gets in trouble.
Although with Ferguson swarming him, he may have no choice but to fight inside. It's when he voluntarily decided to slug inside with Ferguson that Mercer made his biggest mistakes tonight.
This fight could go down to the last punch. Here are the punches in round 9. Another bad round for Jesse Ferguson. That's 2 in a row.
And notice Mercer's total 20. He loved to win a 20-5 round the entire night. He doesn't have to win 46-40.
Jesse Ferguson looks very tired as Ray Mercer tries to rip right hand.
Again, we talked about how much Ray Mercer has to have this fight, and he's battled that way in the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
An uppercut inside as Tony Orlando takes a left hand to the head. The referee, Tony Orlando, was hit. And
He
now
calls
time.
He's going to warn both fighters. And he's warning about a point. And he really should not take away a point in anybody in the final round, especially not of a close fight.
Well, he warned both fighters. That's fair. Mercer, the chance. Now the chance of Jesse start to rise. This is the final round
of the final verdict
of the grudge match. But Jesse Ferguson is not doing enough. He's getting beaten to the punch.
Ray Mercer can dictate on the outside, and he's tying him up when he gets in close.
Remember, round 6, a point was taken away from Ray Mercer for a low blow. Ferguson scores, backing up.
And again, Mercer staying on the outside, which is where he has to be. He doesn't want to give Ferguson the chance to win this fight on the inside. Ferguson a bit winded, too.
Yeah, Ferguson was able to score in tight. Now Mercer is the one connecting with punches, or at least busy.
And when Ray Mercer went outside, he found out that Jesse Ferguson did not want to work for this. So in that case, he can't give it to him by coming close. And in the last 3 rounds, Mercer has adjusted and gone to what's worked best. The jab, setting everything else up, and just outpointing Ferguson.
And referee Tony Orlando slips as the fighters continue. A rough night for Tony. He took a punch, he slipped.
And he took a point away.
Right. Combination by Ferguson. There's a right hand. As they brawl to the finish and then some. Well, it was entertaining. Ray Mercer, did he win?
I think he certainly did enough in the last 3 rounds to take it. He had his lull in the middle, and the big point in this fight, I think, is that he adjusted. He made the tactical switch to an outside style, and it made all the difference in the world in the last 3 rounds because Ferguson was not willing to hustle for it.
Remember, they judge him on a round by round as opposed to looking back at the entire fight. I just looked down at my unofficial scorecard. I had it 5 rounds apiece.
Do we have?
Well, no,
another big, and then the point.
But the point, according to my obviously unofficial scorecard, would be for Ferguson only because of that point.
All right, and just to give you an idea, I have Mercer slightly ahead, and a lot of varied opinions at ringside about how this will go.
Ray Mercer in the ring, being toweled off. He looked pretty good. And it was a rough night for referee Tony Orlando. He could not tie a yellow ribbon around this one.
He was not a very happy guy as he got hit and everything else.
Little left hand comes in right there from Jesse Ferguson. So Ray Mercer shed the 15 pounds, and much more impressive here is Michael Buffer with the decision.
Deborah Barnes scores the belt 95-94. She has it for Ferguson. Vinny Rainoni scores the belt 96-93. He has it for Mercer. And Joseph Pasquale scores the belt 96-93 for the winner on split decision, Merciless Ray Mercer.
So it goes as a split decision. Ray Mercer knocks off Jesse Ferguson. It was not easy. So Ray Mercer picks up career win number 23. Judge Vinny Rainone had it 96-93 for Mercer. Judge Joe Pasquale, 96-93 for Mercer. Judge Vinny Rainone saw it 95-94 for that man, Jesse Ferguson. But Ray Mercer vaults back into the heavyweight picture, at least the WBO picture. He should be getting a shot against Michael Bent. And let's take a look at the low blow that turned out to not be a factor. It came in round number 6. Right there. For Ray Mercer, he had been warned earlier, and referee Tony Orlando decided to take away 1 point in a round that appeared to go in Ferguson's favor as was. And now Dave Bontempo is standing by with Ray Mercer. David?
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. Ray, you heard a split decision. What were your sentiments when they were reading the cards?
I knew it was going to be very close. I thought I put it out in the later rounds, in the earlier rounds. You know, if it's Jesse Ferguson, some people you can just get pumped up for, and for me, I guess he is.
You made an excellent adjustment in the 8th round. You went back to the outside. It seemed like that carried the night for you.
Yeah, well, you know, we was working on the body a lot in practice, and I was trying to work on the inside when I should have been really working on the outside in. I should have been jabbing my way in instead of just leaning in. So I learned a very valuable lesson and almost cost me.
We were talking about that on the inside. Why did you elect to fight so much on the inside during the middle rounds?
So we felt like before I can jab, so I can move on the outside. I used to be an inside fighter. I wanted to get back to doing it. I wanted to get my name back merciless. And in the last 3 rounds, I did just that. I mixed it up, and I'm very proud of myself.
What finally coaxed you to go back to the outside? Was something said in the corner, or did you pick that up?
He told me I was laying in, and he was just throwing them lazy body shots and throwing a combination in between because he was very tired. So he just told me just to move my way in and not to stand there after he punches. after I punched.
Ray, how tough was getting ready for this fight with everything going on around it?
Well, it's been a long time getting ready for this. It's April. I think I need just a little break. I'm down as low as I've probably ever been. So one time my professional career was 223. And, you know, I'm proud of myself. I know that in this game you're going to have some close ones, but it's the champions that pulls it out. And I got a lot of people behind me. Jack Dell, my manager, he's been great. Bob Anthony been doing a good job sticking by us. And my trainers, I got to give them thanks just as much as my manager.
What's your state of mind right now about upcoming developments and future fights for you?
I'm working right now, man. I'm sort of got to want to get back in the ring. I want to get back in the gym as fast as possible and clear my conscience of that inside thing, because it was an easy adjustment. I'm just proud I'm not hard-headed and I can listen to it in the corner from my trainers, and they know what they're talking about. I found out if you listen to the people in the corner, you come out because they can see a lot of things you can't see.
Hey, Ray, thanks a lot. Congratulations. We're going to throw it back now to Bob Papa.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Dave Bontempo. Ray Mercer skirts around the issue of the upcoming court situation in which he must deal with. The trial begins in New York on December 6th.